Hello, Capricorn, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of June 29th through July 5th. And during that time, we will have a waxing crescent moon. And that's a really good time of heightened senses, a good time to buckle down and get to work or focus on the work that you've just begun, little projects and things that you have going on. We then move into the first quarter moon, and that will be on the 3rd or the 4th, depending on where you are. And, that's kind of the opposite. That's when we're a little bit impulsive, impatient, when our mind is a little bit active. So, of course, we do have a holiday coming up on the 4th. So hopefully that energy hits during the holiday and you don't have to work that day. So, and you can just kind of enjoy feeling impulsive and not having to work. So we then move into the waxing gibbous energy, which is kind of back to work and back to focusing. So please keep those moon energies in mind as you move through your week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Capricorn. So, of course, please keep that in mind. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't for someone else. All right. And your overall message for this reading: work through your fears. All right. Let's see what the Capricorn Collective has going on this week. And Capricorn, I would like to say that since my readings are free to you, all that I ask in return is that you hit that subscribe button right down there. It really helps my channel. It just kind of helps put my videos out into the algorithm and get them suggested, which is very, very helpful. It's super easy for you to do. And I will remind you that you do need to be logged into Google or YouTube to subscribe. So there was a time when I didn't really understand how all of that worked, but you do need to be logged in to add subscriptions. And then it's kind of fun because you get to add your favorite channels and you kind of curate your YouTube to the things that you like to watch. And those are the suggestions that come up for you. Anyway, so if you would do that for me, that would be so appreciated. I will give you just a moment while I'm shuffling for you to click that subscribe button right now. Thank you so much. And if you've been a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back and helping me build a community. I've noticed that my subscriber count is very close to what my video watch count is every week. And that tells me that those of you that are subscribing are watching the videos weekly. And that is awesome. That's exactly what I want is, people that are here to learn and grow and see what's on their path and just kind of, I want to be helpful to you. So I appreciate that if you're coming back week to week. Thank you so much. All right, Capricorn, my weekly reminder for you is that you keep a spiritual journal. Every week I try to put out something, just a little reminder of something that I do that I find very helpful in my life. So this week it's about keeping a spiritual journal. And that's because sometimes we don't recognize the patterns that are evolving in our life when we're growing spiritually or having experiences and things. And this could be, keeping track of things that you learn or synchronicities that you're having, dreams that you're having, or maybe encounters. But it's just a really good way to be able to look back in the future and, see what things that you've been applying or things that you maybe forgot to apply that you wanted to. So just my weekly reminder is to keep a spiritual journal. All right, Capricorn, without further ado, June 29th through July 5th, work through your fears. Let's see what you guys have going on this week. All right, Capricorn, your overall energy, Knight of Wands. So some sort of action here on the passion front. This could be anything that you're passionate about. This could be in the realm of relationship. This could be in the realm of, some passion project, just something that that excites you and lights a fire under you every day. Something gets you out of bed in the morning. So, yeah, some sort of action there on the passion realm. Your current situation, more wands with the 8. So lots of things coming in for you this week. I think it was Sagittarius that just had these same cards. A lot of wands coming in, a lot of passion. Are you? And this could be anything. This could be messaging. This could be just things happening. It just seems like just a lot of activity, but it is kind of in that wand realm, in that fiery realm. At the root of your situation is the Page of Pentacles. So it could be that there's some sort of new financial opportunity. Of course, our pages are about new paths, and it could be about learning something new about finances. Maybe you're learning something new about investing or learning something. Maybe you have a new job. It's just some new path that's coming into you. Maybe you have a new side gig, some new path that's coming into you. And it could be something that you're involved with on a passion level, something that you just really enjoy doing. And now you're going to make a few bucks doing it, which is very awesome. In your recent past is the Eight of Pentacles. So, recent past is that you've been hard at work on something. And look at this, two eights. If you want to look up angel number 88, we've got two eights showing up right here, which I see as that, eights are really good for just in numerology in general, really good for finances. It's that infinity symbol of and that flow. I always see it as that flow of money that kind of comes and goes and comes and goes. So look up angel number 88, see if that means anything to you this week. But anyway, your recent past is that you've been hard at work. And also I see this card as like kind of being in the zone, being so focused on something that I don't think this guy really even noticed the world around him. He's just so focused on doing the thing that if someone was back here calling his name, it might take him a minute to hear it. So, that just in the zone. And that's kind of where you come in. And it could be this passion thing that you work on that kind of puts you in that. Like you're just so into doing this thing that you do that the world melts around you. It's the best feeling. I love it. I mean, for me, there's things that do this for me. Music is one of them. Art is another thing. If I'm involved doing some sort of art, I love to do crafting and sewing and all sorts of projects like that and creative projects. I like to make little fairy houses with clay. I like to do I bird houses. It's a whole thing. But when I'm really into that, yeah, you could call my name and I'm probably not going to hear you. I'm just so focused on the art that I'm working on. So yeah, I see that for you, that some kind of focus is bringing you into, you know, again, it could be that you're going to make some money here off of this focus. That's great. What is on your mind this week? More pentacles with kind of juggling things. So, maybe you're at a point where, again, you are thinking about moving this thing that is a passion for you into the money making realm. So, and that's awesome. I mean, what do they say? Find a job that you love to do and you'll never work a day in your life. And so that's really what we should all be working toward, is what is that thing that we love and how do we find a way to make it a financial success. So that's very awesome. I love this for you, Capricorn. And maybe, your overall card here was work through your fears. Maybe there's a little bit of a fear here to kind of pursue this, but the cards are definitely all saying go for it. So what is just ahead of you is the Three of Cups. So a little bit of a celebration here, that could be, and maybe this is like, maybe you are an artist and you've been working so hard and it's something you're very passionate, and all of a sudden you sell a few pieces. Absolutely, you're going to celebrate that. Maybe you're a musician and a song of yours kind of blows up, something you've put out on the internet has blown up. You're going to celebrate that. So, make sure that you take that time to celebrate with friends and family, people around you, to celebrate those successes that you're having and feel good about it, because it's very awesome. And if you're taking a breath and working through your fears and going for it, then that's also just as awesome. In your advice position is the Five of Swords, which I've seen this card also this week, especially in the advice position. And I think it was, which reading? Let me look here. I remember the topic, and I'm just going to say, yeah, if you have a Scorpio in your life, this was in the same position, I believe, in their reading. And, I'm going to say, because it's in the advice position, the advice here to me means that you need to say some things that need to be said. You may not need to say everything, right? This card is typically, it's taught to us tarot readers as winning through deceit or underhanded tactics, and I don't always see it that way, especially in the advice position, because it's air energy, because it's swords. I say it as there's, imagine that there's five. This guy had five swords at one point, and that these swords represent things that maybe need to be said. It looks like maybe something was said to this person, and you kind of held back, right? You didn't say everything. But if things need to be, And I'm almost like if people sometimes just need to be put in their place if they're overstepping their boundaries or whatever, and it's just kind of being firm. You may hurt some feelings along the way, but it may just be things that need to be said. And in the Scorpio reading, it was about time, and it was about making sure that you are taking the time that you need for yourself. With you, I feel like it's about this fear about your passion, and that maybe if you have some naysayers or something that kind of add to that fear, you need to put them in their place. See if that makes sense for you. For some of you, it may. What is beyond your control this week is the Hermit card. So, beyond, you're going to take some time to think about this, and this may be about this, and this may be also working through the fears, is that you are going to definitely have to take some time to go within. And this time can be spent here, this work that you've done on this. And if you do that kind of work, that's also, that in the zone time, to me, that's some of the best thinking time. Thinking doesn't have to be in a meditative position, or comatose thinking, that sort of thing. I think while I do things. So, and that could be you as well. But go ahead and give your inner wisdom some thought, and work through those fears, and find that courage to do this thing that you're obviously about to have some success at. It seems like it's a scary thing, but it seems like you really do need to go for it. What is your secret desire, what you're trying to avoid? Oh, these cards come out the same. I've had the same card, some of these same cards in the same positions for different readings, which is crazy. This might have also, I can't remember now, might have also been the Scorpio one that I was just talking about. But secret desire, or are you trying to avoid finish that final push? Could be your secret desire. It could be that you're maybe trying to avoid that. But and again, I'm going to say, if you have a Scorpio in your life, and go watch that reading and see if there's something that's kind of intertwined about these readings, because they're very, very familiar in many ways. So but you need to ask yourself that question. Are you trying to make that final push, or are you trying to avoid that final push? And either answer is fine. You just really need to understand the why behind it. Just for you, that's your big question of the week. In your outcome position is the Ten of Pentacles. So, outcome, this is about wealth and security. And more than that, it's about generation. It's about passing things on to the next generation. And this could also be knowledge. This could be your skill set. This could be, your work ethic, your just, it's passing those kinds of things along. Sometimes money also, of course, it is a pentacle, but it's more than that. It's the ideology that you're passing on, and the example that you're being. And that's in your outcome, that you're being a good example for those around you. So what is hidden from you this week, Capricorn, is the Page of Cups. So it looks like your sense of humor is kind of lacking a little bit this week, where you're kind of focused, and you're, really buckling down and getting these things done. But maybe, if your sense of humor is a little bit lacking, it may be something you need to think about, and maybe, bring that up during your celebration, and lighten up a little bit. Don't be so heavy throughout the whole week and so focused on things. Take a little bit of time to laugh and have a good time also. All right, let's get a final word here from the Soul Oracle deck for Capricorn, June 29th through July 5th. A final message here for Capricorn: forgive and forget. And this could have something here to do with this Five of Swords, is immediately where my eye went. Is, yeah, there might be some situation where things need to be said, and you just need to say them. Not just all those, you got to put it out there. And maybe forgive and forget also. I'm introducing this deck this week. This is these cards got in front of me, and I love them. I love the messages in them. I love the art on them. It's the Self-Care Wisdom cards by Cheryl Richardson. And so we are going to be adding those to the readings here for the next few weeks. But let's see how Capricorn needs to take care of themselves. What sort of self-care does Capricorn need to have this week as they go through this kind of intense week? Again, your humor's hidden from you. I'm going to say, try to laugh a little bit, lighten up a little as you're doing all this soul searching and working through fears. if you need to laugh sometimes, I don't know, find a comedian on the internet and, lighten up a little. Okay, the card that's going to come up for you here, Capricorn, is space. And the space card says the quality of your life has more to do with what you remove from your life than what you add to it. Give yourself the gift of space. Very interesting. And especially, again, I'm going to go back to this 5 card. And it was almost like the Scorpio reading was give yourself the gift of time. And it looks like you need to give yourself the gift of space, and the space to do the things that you are passionate about, the things that you work hard at, and the things, that maybe you're a little bit afraid of going and making money at doing this thing, or having money be involved with it. So, work through those fears this week. If there's something here, forgive and forget. Like I said, if maybe things need to be said, boundaries need to be set, that sort of thing. And it could be about making sure that you have the space to work on the thing that you are most passionate about. And that could be hard. You got to fight for that time, in this world where there's so many things trying to get all of our attention. So, Capricorn, I really appreciate your time with me here today. I hope there was something in this reading that you can take away and use. If you're comfortable sharing, let me know what it is. What kind of fears were you working through? Did you have some sort of passion project of yours come to a place where you're able to make some money at it this week? Did something burst through for you, and were you celebrating that? I'd love to know. So drop me a comment and let me know. I do hope there was something here that you can take away and use in your week. Also, if you like my reading style, of course, please like and subscribe. I do readings every week, and it would help my channel so much if you do that. But most importantly, it'll help you find me next week. So thanks so much, Capricorn, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.